Welcome back, guys. So the concept of gender fluidity is now in mainstream conversation all around the world. But in the world of fashion, clothes have always crossed gender boundaries, and there is no better time than now to push those gender norms, which means expanding your wardrobe. So here to talk about some of the highlights of the genderless fashion that's hitting the runway this year at New York Fashion Week, you know her, author and stylist Heather Newberger. What's up, Heather?
Hey, how are you? And happy New York Fashion Week.
It's like a holiday out there. So first, can you explain something to me? Because I need this clarified. When did we first describe clothes with a gender? Because I know a t-shirt isn't a he or she.
It's not a he or she, but something that we decided to do as a society a while ago is make this didactic decision that, women's wear is going to be more fitted and men's wear is going to be more boxy. So when you're talking about a t-shirt, sure, it is great for everyone, but at the same time, we want to put things into boxes. So what we've decided is that men get to be a little more comfortable, whereas women really want to show off their frame, whether that actually makes sense for anyone or not.
So New York Fashion Week, as you just enthusiastically mentioned, is this week, and they're kind of making their mark with tons of designers that are looking beyond just men and women's collections. They actually, on the calendar, have a unisex and non-binary category. So what can we expect to see in a show like that, and most importantly for people who want to buy, which designers?
What I think is so exciting about genderless fashion is what we're talking about is the idea of embracing both men's and women's wear into the same world. So brands like a.potts and also the brand Fried Rice, they're such great examples of groups that have really taken this idea of, expelling gender from the world and then grabbing from these different spaces. And I think what it says to consumers is that you don't really have to be so tied into the idea of menswear or women's wear. You can really enjoy and be excited by all these different options out there in the fashion world. It's not about the gender you were assigned at birth. It's about what your style is and why you look great in those things.
This is my bag. I love unisex fashions. Can you talk about, though, what the social impact here is in fashion that can have on society? Because you just talked about it. It's about inclusivity. It's about reflecting our changing world.
Absolutely. And I think the great thing about, seeing a lot more of these genderless brands is that we're actually seeing these things in front of us, in front of our faces. We're reading them in articles. We're being sort of taken in by these awesome opportunities to really think about the way we want to dress ourselves. And the more we see something, the more we believe something. And I think that that's so great. So when we see these companies coming out with these beautiful videos, these wonderful visuals, we're reimagining Fashion Week in so many different ways right now because social media has really disseminated things in such a beautiful way, in the same way that, a fashion show doesn't really make the same sense as it used to. So we really want to talk about all these different opportunities to see things and embrace them and really bring them into our brains when we talk about and we think about fashion.
Now, it is refreshing to see those social norms break down, but maybe some of us can't get to New York Fashion Week or don't have the bag to pay for those designers, but we want to cross over. So when we're at the store, let's say, how can we cross over into the sections for different genders if we want to without kind of being afraid or crossing the gender aisle lines, as they say?
So one of the things I actually talk about in my book, How to Date Your Wardrobe, is that you need to stop thinking about store organization when you're purchasing for yourself. Different stores are laying things out in different ways because it's easiest for them, but it's not necessarily easiest for the consumer. So you want to make sure that you're thinking about what fits right for your body and your frame and what makes you feel the most comfortable. It's not about, making sure they're always choosing women's wear or men's wear, depending on whatever gender you identify with most. It's about what things feel the best and make you feel the most confident and in your body. So, eschew all of these norms, go to the little boy section and buy a jean jacket, make sure that you're finding things that fit your body and make you feel the most like yourself in every moment, every day.
Yeah, Heather, I think it's important for consumers to know that they're organizing that because you're right. It is easier for them to keep things organized, easier for the employees, et cetera. So you have to go in knowing that. I think that's really important.
1,000%. And that confidence you have too, when you kind of walk in there and you say, this entire store is for me, there isn't just one section that's available. It really offers such a wonderful opportunity to kind of think differently about the way you dress yourself and think about what really fits into your world as opposed to someone else's.
Such great advice. All right, stylist and author Heather Newberger. We'll see you again next week. Make sure you tune in, you guys, every Friday for some more fashion from Heather. You can also keep up with her on Instagram, her very exciting New York life. That's going to be at Heather Newberger.